video is sponsored by NordVPN. More on that later in the video. Hello, brains. Is there something you want to achieve or accomplish that you haven't achieved or accomplished? So what are you going to add to your life to do it? What if that's the wrong question? It's the question I think that society teaches us to ask. What can I add to get me to the thing that I want? Me plus a degree equals a successful career, or me plus a relationship equals happy. Me plus an elaborate organizational system equals I don't have ADHD? ? That one doesn't happen, I promise. We live in a society that's built to make us think that if we want to achieve an outcome, we need to add something to our life. We need to do something extra. We need to buy something new. We need to add something to our life to help us achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve. I will give you an example. I was having trouble separating my work life and my home life a few months back. There was some emergencies going down at work, and I really desperately needed a break, and I couldn't not answer people's calls. I couldn't not respond. And so I didn't get the break that I needed. A couple people recommended that I get an extra phone. I get a second phone to help me differentiate. So at the end of the workday, I put one phone down, I pick the other one up, and then I have a home phone, and the people that would like to contact me about work can't because I have a different phone. I did this, and for months, I was so overwhelmed trying to keep track of two phones, trying to make sure both phones were charged. I realized real quick that when you work from home, finishing your private conversation and then switching to your work phone is really hard. It's really hard to say goodbye to somebody in the middle of something that they're talking about and just be like, okay, I'm switching to my work phone now. It's also really hard to keep track if they are a work colleague that I'm also friends with and they're having a conversation with me over here on my work phone. And then I have to switch over my home phone, and now the conversation that I need to refer back to was happening on my work phone. It was a disaster, is my point. I was talking to my assistant the other day. After several failed experiments of me trying to add things to get myself organized, to get myself to have a better work-life balance, she finally looked at me and said, it's not always about adding things. We think that the equation is me plus blank equals outcome that I'm hoping to have. But sometimes we can achieve the outcome we're looking for by taking something away. Another example, me plus the expensive bubble bath salts equals self-care. But sometimes me minus a commitment that I've made that I really don't want to be committed to equals self-care. Sometimes me minus a toxic friendship equals self-care. There are times when taking something away actually does more to get us to the outcome that we're looking for than anything that we could add. Before I started the channel, I had been adding things perpetually to my life, putting more hours in and taking this acting class and taking this acting class and going to massage school and doing just so many things trying to be successful. And I met this life coach who was an actress, and one of the best things that she ever said was, okay, stop everything you're doing. And I was like, what? I can't do that. I'm already so far behind. There's no way. Like, if I stop now, I'm going to get even farther behind. And she's like, we don't know right now where you need to be putting your effort, so just stop. And it was the most anxiety-inducing thing I think I've ever done, but I did. Feeling completely behind in my life, completely behind in my career, I stopped doing anything except for going to work because I needed to pay the bills. And probably for the first time in my life, I actually had the space and the bandwidth to think about what I actually wanted. A month later, I went back to her and I said, I want to start a YouTube channel. There was space for it. When we take things away, we create space. We save time, we save energy, we save money. We end up with more resources to play with, which we can then use to help us toward our goals. It's important to remember that if you add something to your life to achieve an outcome, you're not just adding the outcome to your life. I get a second phone line. I'm not just getting a work-life separation. I'm having to figure out how to manage two phones and set up two phones, and the confusion that comes with looking at one and it's set up one way and then looking at the other and forgetting where the buttons are because I'm so used to not having to rely on my working memory and just going by long-term storage. I'm dealing with so much extra stuff that was not the intention, that was not at all the goal. For me, what I'm trying to do is think about when I have an issue that I'm trying to solve, and my first instinct is to add something, just to pause just for a second and be like, okay, I could, but is there anything that I can take away that would help too? And I think a good place to start with what can I take away is, well, what's getting in the way? If the reason why I feel like I need to organize is I'm not able to find the things that I need in this room because it's too cluttered, Clutter is what's getting in the way, right? It's not the fact that I don't have these organizational systems necessarily. It's that there's too much stuff. There's too much visual chaos. So yeah, I can get organizational things, but I can also get rid of some of the clutter. Danny Donovan has a really great TikTok about the best way to handle things not getting done. Decide not to do them. Take them off your mental plate. I can't say it better than Danny did, so.
Take it off your plate. Like, if there are no actual consequences to you not doing something, you're not in a place to do that thing because you already weren't doing it, but now you're just like officially not doing it, which feels so good. And if you end up doing it anyway, it's because you wanted to, not because you had to. And I would just like you to take a mental note every time you're not perfect and the world doesn't end.
If you try this out, let me know how it works in the comments below. It is just something that I heard that I thought was really brilliant and wanted to share. Thank you to my brain advocates and all my Patreon brains for allowing me to do experimental content like this and add tools to your toolbox that will hopefully help you take other ones away. So we know we have ADHD, and pretty often we can make impulsive online purchases, but do we ever stop to think about what data we are putting out there on that shady public Wi-Fi we just jumped onto, especially now that the world is opening up and we're starting to leave our houses again? Well, that's where NordVPN comes in. It essentially works by creating a private tunnel between you and your digital destination, keeping your personal data like credit card numbers, addresses, and the occasional embarrassing web searches out of reach from data spies. Using NordVPN is as easy as opening the app on your phone or computer and clicking a country of your choice. That's it. NordVPN is fast, reliable, and can virtually transport you to more than 50 countries around the world for easy access to region-based shows, movies, and games that you wouldn't normally be able to get at home, which is really great if you're, trying to learn a new language. Just go to nordvpn.com/ADHD or use code ADHD to get a 2-year plan with a discount plus a bonus gift. And as always, please spend responsibly, not impulsively. Recording 2 vlogs and a live stream in one day is too much, officially. Now I know to take one away. Bye, brains.